Hey, what's up, YouTube world? It is your girl here, the Venusian Bull, and welcome to 2020. This is my first video that I'm doing in 2020. So we are continuing the series of the planets in the houses. I apologize that I didn't pick up immediately after I started with the first house, but you know, the holidays and everything got, you know, things a little out of whack. But consistency is the name of my game for 2020. No matter what I do, I'm gonna try to stay consistent. I've made a lot of excuses as to why I'm not being consistent, but all of that, we leaving that in the last decade, okay? We starting out a new decade and a new year, so it's like consistency, no matter what. So if I gotta do more car videos, then I'm gonna have to do more car videos, and that's just what it is. All right, so we're moving into the planets in the second house, and if you remember from my houses video that I did, the second house is about money, possessions, earned income. It also has to do with your self-value and your self-worth as well. So think about that when I'm talking about the planets in these particular houses. So in this video, I am going to be talking about the sun in the second house. And you know, wherever the sun is, it illuminates that area of your life. It's where you want to shine. It's where you want recognition. It's where you're very prideful. You know what I'm saying? It's where, you know, your ego can kind of be, you know, on 100 a little bit. So having your sun in the second house, and again, take this with a grain of salt, is similar to having your sun in Taurus with like a little bit of Leo energy, because you know it's the sun in Taurus. The second house corresponds to Taurus. Now, I forgot to mention this in my first series of videos when I was talking about the first house. Please understand that this is like the purest energy for these planets in these houses, meaning that everything I say may not actually correspond to you, because, you know, that's life, and this is possibilities, what may be the case. And also, you may have aspects to these planets that will modify the way that they act and things like that. So when I was talking about the first house, for instance, let's say you have Saturn in the first house and you're like, well, I'm not a Debbie Downer. I'm not dull. I'm not all about business all the time and mean and stuff like that. Well, it's possible you got like maybe Venus conjunct Saturn in your first house. That Venus will soften that Saturn up real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, just think about that. Think about that when I'm talking about this. And I'm not talking about all of the aspects and everything like that, but just understand that when I'm talking about in this video, for instance, sun in the second house, that the aspects that your sun is making to other planets in your chart could modify this. But this is just it. This is just the way that it would correspond in its purest form. This is the way it could correspond in its purest form. So I want you to keep that in mind, okay? All right, so sun in the second house means that you take a lot of pride, and you have a lot of like passion for your possessions, and these can be tangible possessions. Most of the time, the second house does have to do with things that are tangible, you know, money, valuable items, and things like that. So you take a lot of pride into that. Some people, you know, may call you possessive, stingy, maybe even selfish at times. However, with the sun in the second house, this could cause you to be a little bit more extravagant and lavish in your spending habits. You know, you're going to want the nicest things. You're going to want quality, you know what I'm saying, over quantity. But you may be spending some money on some things. I don't know why furniture keeps popping into my head, but furniture may be a really big deal. Quality furniture that's going to last years and years and years. That's very second house. It's very Taurian. Anything that's quality, that's going to last. And you know, you may be like very generous to people. You earn money and you're, you know, I don't want to say giving it away, but you like to give, you know, that's the sun being there. That's the being prideful aspect. And you like to show off what you've earned. You know what I'm saying? So if you made a whole lot of money, you like to show it off, you want to buy that new Louis bag, you're going to buy that new Louis bag. You know what I'm saying? You want to buy that MacBook, you're going to buy that MacBook. You know what I'm saying? You want to go on that vacation and treat yourself, you know what I'm saying? Then you're going to do that. So that's something about Sun in the second house. It's not quite subdued when it comes to how they spend. They may be subdued in their demeanor and their disposition, but make no mistake, a Sun in the second house is a big spender. So y'all know I like to sing in my videos. I be doing that all the time. So understand also that Sun in the second house also has to do with self-value and self-worth. So I would say someone in the second house, someone with the Sun in the second house is a lot more likely to have a lot of self-value, self-worth, a high self-esteem. Understand that it's also the Sun. The Sun is all about ego and pride and, high self-esteem and confidence. So this is actually a really nice, underrated placement for the Sun, I think. It's a way for you to, really look into yourself and have that confidence, especially when it comes to the way that you earn money. You know what I'm saying? You're going to want to do things that allow you to express your creativity, and things like that in terms of earning money. This is not a placement where you can kind of just do whatever. You want to shine in whatever area it is that, you can earn money and things like that. So make sure that you remember that. I would say that some other planets in this house could be more of a hoarder, but a Sun in the second house can be a hoarder of like really, really nice things. So like you might actually want to like sell some of these nice things, like these websites where you get like designer brands for half off and 75% off and stuff like that. I feel like a Sun in the second house person could really make some money. I just saw a website. I was watching something on Hulu and ads. So it's this website called The Real Real, and they sell designer purses and coats and jewelry and stuff like that on there. So Sun in the second house people, lavishly, if it's something that you no longer want to use or want and you want to make some money, you could do something like that. That's very, it just makes me think of like lavish, like expensive designer, like, cause that's very Sun, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I just wanted to point that out, put that out there. And just remember, with the Sun in the second house, you have the potential to earn a lot of income in this lifetime, but you do also have the potential to be too extravagant, possibly too generous with your money. So just keep that in mind. Spend wisely, put on that Taurian hat, think about what's practical and things of that nature, because the Sun in the second house can get a little, a little wild, that little bit of Leo might come out a little bit, especially if you have actual Leo placements. So definitely keep that in mind. But otherwise, the Sun in the second house is very good for making money with being creative and any type of creative pursuits, and where you shine and where you can do something, lavish of some sort, something that's unique, something that, like, not Uranus unique, but just like something that makes you stand out and makes you noticeable, but you're also making money doing that. So that could also easily be entertainment as well, because it's the Sun. But definitely keep that in mind if you have this placement. All right, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.